Hi, VC. It's Jerry again. You can follow me on Instagram at Sith Scorch. I saw a video from Cheap and Cheerful the other day, and I thought it was a interesting idea. And so I thought that's an easy one. I can do that. And that was the video on his albums with hats on the cover, and he went ahead and had hats of his own. So we'll start that off and follow his lead. This is just a hat that from our local cell phone carrier, which uh, a lot of you would have no idea about, but it was this was a freebie given out at a festival. I'll start off with my first album with hats. We have Country Joe and the Fish. You see lots of hats here, lots of pictures of, I guess, same guys. This is a kind of folky light rock album. This is not the more desirable album of theirs, but this is their. I think it's the last one. It's a reunion. It came out in '77. Is what I saw. I'm gonna look for the others, the earlier ones. Switching hats to a hat that I picked up on my honeymoon in Jamaica. This was the resort that we stayed at. Go to Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie. This one I just picked up the other day. I was lucky enough to be able to rummage through about 7,000 albums with my friend Tony and Chad, and we had a good time. Unfortunately, it's got the previous owner's name on the cover and the record, but I still wanted the record, so it's okay. Small price to pay. This hat was a gift um, while I was in China, if you believe, if you can believe that. Um, Somebody there, I was on a mission trip in China, and one of the gentlemen there bought all of us hats. He came back, and this was the hat that he chose. And this was the next one that I chose, W.C. Fields. You see that bowler hat? I don't have a bowler hat. I would like one, but I don't have one right now. This one I picked up. I'm sure this was early. I picked this up when before I even had a record player, and the reason why is because I like W.C. Fields. I I fell in love with him as a juggler, and that's what he started out as, a vaudeville juggler. And he stated, and he's been quoted as saying that he hated children and dogs, yet we see him here, obviously, with a child and then the dog right on the cover in the back. So I think that was just part of the persona. Next, we will go with my cowboy hat and Pure Prairie League. This one, my friend Tony actually gave me, and I listened to this one just the other day again, and it's really good. It's slow southern rock, and obviously you'll know uh, Amy is their probably their biggest hit as far as I know. That's the one that I was familiar with already. So my cowboy hat I've had since, you can tell it's been around a little bit, but I'm not a big cowboy hat wearer, but I was got up into the line dancing craze in the '90s with some friends of mine, and of course had to look the part, so had a cowboy hat. Okay, that's my Kentucky hat. John Denver, since he's famous for singing about West Virginia. I figured I had to better represent for my state. John Denver's greatest hits. Take Me Home, Country Roads. That's the one I'm talking about. Moving on. A friend gave me this hat. He went on vacation to Roatan. Beautiful island. I saw some pictures and videos, and I would like to go there someday, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so Elton John is wearing a red hat, so that's why I figured I'd go ahead and match it up with this one. This one's got a lot of good songs on it. Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Philadelphia Freedom, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Of course, that's not originally his, but there's lots of good songs on there. He's there with a cricket bat. I don't know if you ever played cricket, but not technically a hat, but it is a head covering. And there's my Beastie Boys beanie. And we have the Doobie Brothers. We've got, I forgot his name right now, but we got two guys up here with hats on. And let's see, what do we have on here? What a Fool Believes. That's the biggest one on this album. This hat, I went to see the Beastie Boys twice in one weekend for this tour. Saw them Friday in St. Pete, Florida, when I was living in Florida, and then again on Sunday evening in Orlando. And I actually was able to, on my way out of the concert, somebody had dropped this hat, and it was just laying on the ground, and they obviously had bought it that night. And I know I looked at them and I wanted one, but they were like $20-25, and I wasn't going to pay that price. Well, I got one anyway, and I still got it. Still managed to hold on to it after all these years. I love it. Moving on. We've got my Quicksilver hat. This one's seen some better days. It is seriously discolored, but here we have Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed. And you'll see Jerry's wearing a hat that looks a little too small for him, personally. It's a lot smaller than mine right now. So this one, speaking of small hats, this one's a little small on my head. This one my brother gave me. He was in the Marines, and he was over in Iraq when he was medically discharged. He gave me this hat, so I've had this for a long time. Jefferson Airplane. Look at all those hats. I'd like to have some of those hats. Flight Log. We've got some good songs on here. This one's a double album. White Rabbit, Somebody to Love. Let's see, what else? Pretty As You Feel, Ride the Tiger. There's the inside. One of the most famous hats of all. We've got Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, and my favorite hat. I picked this up out in Arizona when I went to the Grand Canyon, and I was able to go to a Indian reservation, and they had these hats in there, and I love it because you can just throw it in a suitcase and just smash it flat, and then you can still just take it right back out, and it's waterproof, everything. I take it on hikes. It's great. Soundtrack to Raiders of the Lost Ark. And that was 10, but I decided to go ahead and give you a bonus. So, we have Men Without Hats. Had to, right? Safety dance. And the bonus hat, Venom. Look at that. You can actually see through here. That's crazy, isn't it? All right, that was my 10, actually 11 albums with hats. So, hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day.